Assalamualaikum Lydia. How are you?
Waalaikumsalam, Faik. Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. How about you?
Alhamdulillah, I am fine too. By the way, are you busy now?
No, I'm not. Can I help you?
Would you discuss together about material of second language acquisition? Because there is their point I haven't understand about it.
Okay, I called. Can I start our discussion?
Yes, please.
Well, what point that you still confused?
I'm still confused about the first point hypothesis that is the acquisition learning. I haven't understand about it. Um, can you explain about this matter?
Okay, for the first point. Well, for the first point, that is about the acquisition learning hypothesis. As far I understand, the acquisition learning hypothesis is a hypothesis that forms part of Stephen Krassen's theory of second language acquisition. It states that there are two independent ways in which we develop our linguistic skill: acquisition and learning. So, according to Krasen, acquisition is more important than learning. Acquisition is a subconscious process that is very similar to the process children undergo when they acquire their first language. It mostly involves natural communication with more focus on the meaning rather than the form. Next is learning. Learning is a conscious process that involves formal instruction that result in conscious knowledge about the language. So far that I understand about it, uh, you can get my point.
Okay, I get the point. The point is the acquisition learning hypothesis is Stephen Crescent's theory of second language acquisition, and it's that there are two independent ways. The first is acquisition, a subconscious process, and the second is learning process. Okay.
Yeah, alright. Well, uh, I still confused that about second point and third point. Can you explain to me about the second point and the third point?
Okay, about the second hypothesis is the natural order hypothesis that argues that the acquisition of grammatical structure occurs in a predictable sequence. The natural order hypothesis applies to both first language acquisition and second language acquisition. But although similar, the order of acquisition often differs between first and second language. Do you get my point?
Yes, I get your point. It means the natural order hypothesis argues that the acquisition of grammatical structures occurs in a predictable sequence. Well, how about the third hypothesis?
Okay, for the third hypothesis is a monitor hypothesis. The complements acquisition learning hypothesis by claim that the only function of learning within second language acquisition is as an editor or monitor Foreign language is produced by the accurate system as well as to produce grammatical form not yet accurate. In other words, the learned system monitor the output of the accurate system. Do you get my point?
Yes, I get your point. Your explanation is very easy to understand.
Okay, Lid. Thanks. By the way, would you explain about the fourth hypothesis of second language acquisition? Because I little to understand about the material.
For the fourth hypothesis, well, the fourth hypothesis is the input hypothesis. According to Krasen, state that a second language is obtained by understanding message or receiving input that can be understood. Krasen interpreting comprehensive input as the process of understanding the language heard or read a level above the previous learner's ability, which is formulated by I plus 1. I is the input hypothesis. According to Krasen, state that a second language is obtained by understanding message or receiving input that can be understood. Krasen interpreting comprehensive input as the process of understanding the language heard or read a level above the previous learner's ability, which is formulated by I plus 1. I is defined as the ability or competence of student and plus 1 is defined as one level on. And if the input has a difficulty level of I plus 2, for example, the learner will difficulty in understanding the target language they are learning. Therefore, Krasen formulate it with I plus 1. And the implication of the comprehensive input formula that the ability to speak fluently in the target language little by little comes on its own. Fluency, according to Krasen, is not the result of direct learning, but that ability built on competence through understanding input. When input understood and this is adequate, the language rules will automatically be integrated in the insight. Do you understand?
So, for your nice explanation.
You are welcome, Faik. Now is the last hypothesis. I think I'm confused about that. So, can you explain again to me about the last hypothesis?
The last hypothesis is the affective filter. The affective filter is a metaphor that describes a learner's attitude that affects the relative success of second language acquisition. Negative feelings such as lack of motivation, lack of self-confidence, and learning anxieties act as filter that hinder an abstract language learning. From this statement, do you get my point?
Yeah, I get your point. Uh, I want to say thank you as you have made me understand about the material that about five hypotheses, and you have give me time for discuss that our material. And thanks to you, you have made me get the point about five hypotheses.
My pleasure. Thanks for your time too. Have give me time to discuss together. See you next time. Thanks.
See you, Faik. Bye bye.